Okay, great. So welcome back to another episode of Home for Marketers. I am Clara Kawashigawa from AMA, and today I'm here with Adam Diamond from Starbucks, and I am so excited to have you, especially after listening to your presentation a few weeks ago. So I was wondering if you could start by introducing yourself and saying a little bit about who you are.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Claire. It's great to be here. I really appreciate being invited to come and talk about, well, me. So my name is Adam Diamond. I am a Director of International CMP for Starbucks, and CMP stands for Customer Marketing and Product. I have worked with Starbucks for going on 25 years now. Started as a
Wow.
barista when I was 19. I think about the fact that I've kind of grown up with this company. And so I've seen a lot in the past 25 years, and I'm excited to be here today. Thanks.
Yeah, so you mentioned you've been with the company for 25 years. So you were around my age when you first started as a barista. And I was wondering if there's any advice you would have told your younger self, anything you wish you had known back when you were a barista.
Oh my gosh. It's funny because I look back when I was a barista, and the first time I ever walked into a Starbucks was the only time I had ever been to a Starbucks was to apply
Wow.
for a job. I just wanted to really work at a coffee shop. And so that's how I found my way to Starbucks. But like thinking back, I had never planned on making international marketing or even working at Starbucks like a long-term career decision. That was probably the furthest thing from my mind at the time, because it's like, who's going to work at a coffee shop for their entire life? Like, I really didn't have a strong understanding of A, what is it that Starbucks stands for as a company? B, how big of an enterprise it really is, and how many opportunities there are. And C, or point three, um, really kind of like the training, morals, values of the company that I was going to find so relatable. So it all kind of just magically working out for me. So like when I look back and I think about it, I think the advice that I would give to myself is one, don't don't make assumptions about the moment and the opportunities that are right in front of you. They might seem small, but they could actually be great big opportunities. So how do you see past like the obvious, and encourage yourself to think a little bit beyond that? Like if you're having a good time, is that a sign? Like if you're enjoying your work, if you're enjoying what you're doing right now, make note of that, because you want to do more of that because it will fill your cup. You'll be happier doing more of what you love.
Yeah, so no pun intended. It seems like Starbucks has filled your cup.
It
Um,
totally sorry, that was totally bad and unplanned. Sorry.
so then going off of that, I was just wondering, it seems like you've really been following your passion and doing what makes you happy, and that's sort of how you've ended up in your current position. Do you have any life mantras that you live by? And if so, how have those really influenced not only your personal life, but your professional life?
Uh, so while it's not a formal mantra and it sounds really hedonistic, what I would say is do what you love and don't let your passions get in the way of your career and your life. Those things can all be very complementary to one another. And like, I look back and I was originally studying, well, first off, I lived in Japan when I was growing up, and I've always had the desire to travel internationally, be part of a global community, explore cultures outside of my own. Like all of that is really ingrained into who I am. And that is something I love. So, how do I
Hmm.
take something I love and apply it to my day job? Well, I work on getting a job in something I love. There have been other times where earlier in my career where I have been very passionate about food.
Hmm.
And, I decided, you know what, I'm going to do something about that. I love food. So I'm going to go to cooking school and I'm going to get a certificate in culinary arts to be a chef.
Wow.
And so I did that. And now I have a food blog. Like another example, I'm just going to keep going. Another
Yeah.
example,
These are really interesting.
I I I kind of like to dance. So I started, and this was when swing dance, like, oh my God, I can't even, however many years ago this was, swing dancing was like making its big comeback in like, what was that? The early or late 1990s. And I wanted to learn how to do it. So I went, and you know what? I had such a good time. And by the way, I was really good at it. They invited me to be an instructor. So I wound up teaching ballroom dance and swing dance. And it's like, you can make money doing the things that you love. I love coffee. I love being around people. I love being in a customer service oriented environment where I'm constantly interacting with people that are different, unique, but always finding a way to connect with them is what I love to do. And I think I kind of landed a really good spot to be able to do that in right now.
Yeah, that's really inspiring, especially because I'm now a junior in college. So I'm getting ready to figure out what I really want to do in the quote unquote real world. And I think, especially for me, it's really easy to get locked into after I graduate, I go find a job, I'm working 9 to 5, and that's essentially the rest of my life. So
And
it's
it
really
sounds
nice
like a
to hear
death
from
sentence.
you. Yeah, sounds terrible. So it's really nice to hear from you and all of your different experiences. I was sort of wondering, you live life to the fullest, is what I'm gathering. And how have you adapted that now in COVID, in this unique setting where we're all in our homes? It's harder to go out. I'm assuming dancing in public is a little bit harder. You're not at the shops getting coffee. So how
I've
have
got
you brought
kids
that
now,
lively
it's
spirit?
all.
Yeah.
So, thinking about it within the context of COVID, you know, the entire family is home right now. My husband's in the other room. We've got 3 kids that are either playing on their iPad, watching TV, or hopefully doing some homework. But thinking about like what we're all passionate about, like the kids are passionate about sports. So we've got opportunities for them to go outside. They can still go out in front. We've got a basketball hoop. They can still play. I have reignited my passion for food and actually started my own business license. Like I have my own business now.
That's awesome. Your family must be excited for that. Lots of food in the house.
Totally. So like I'm baking constantly and I post all of that to my blog, which is stinkygrapefruit.com, shameless plug. But it's like being able to do that and post photos and connect on Facebook. I think like social media has obviously played even more of a role in people feeling connected. But like I've reconnected with folks that I haven't in years, and I've done so over stuff like sourdough bread. Like it's crazy where like all of a sudden people are finding things that they're really excited about and forming communities of like-minded individuals. Speaking of which, here comes one of my kids now.
Wait, just go over him now to have a remote.
No, we can't do that right now. Sorry, I'm having a call. Sorry about that.
That's awesome. No worries. I'm normally.
That is life in COVID.
Exactly. I can relate. When I'm at home, I'm going to school right now in Washington, so I'm actually close to campus. But when I am at home and I was doing interviews for applying to jobs, more often than not, my mini Labradoodle dog would be barking in the background. Even if we put her in the other room, she'd escape and is yapping all the time. So I've definitely learned how to adjust to that.
Absolutely. And I think that that's from a work standpoint, I'm in meetings constantly. Like I was in a meeting leading right up to like talking to you. I've got one right after. And one of the things that I've really loved the most around like the folks that I work with is the fact that you get to be almost even more authentic than if you were in the office. And which is I think really eye-opening for a lot of people. And we have all come to this, like, I feel like I can relate to you because I don't know if that fan behind you is going to like that I see in the screen, like, maybe it's gonna fall down or that Labradoodle is gonna like jump in your lap, right? Like life happens around us. And I think that it creates just this level of authenticity to what we do. And so it just helps people connect in more realistic ways. Like you don't have to pretend to be something you're not.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you brought that up. I was actually talking to one of my mentors about this the other day, how a lot of times in recruiting cycles, I'm finding that a big question is, what's the culture fit, or how do you necessarily fit our culture? So something I wanted to ask you to sort of challenge that is, at Starbucks or in your personal life, what do you think about a culture fit? Are you looking for something, whether that's again personal, professional, where it's a culture that's flexible in the sense that it's rapidly changing? And if so, you sort of touched on how that might have changed during COVID. Or have you found that cultures have more become stagnant almost because we're unable to see each other?
I think that is such an interesting question, and it's very relevant because I am literally in the process of interviewing
There you
partners
go.
to come to join my team. I'm not personally
Yeah.
interviewing, but like I'm the interviewer. And I take a slightly different lens on that. And it's not like, are you going to be a
Hmm.
culture fit? I'm not looking for a culture fit. I'm looking for someone who's bringing something to the culture.
Yeah,
We don't want, I don't want, for example, to have a team of sameness, of likeness. I'm looking for
exactly.
individuality and seeing, what is it that my team does not have that you do?
Hmm.
And it's that difference that is what's going to make you that much more valuable. So
Hmm.
I challenge um, anyone who is asked that question in an interview where you might feel pressured to answer the question in the right way, or in a
Yeah.
way that you're answering it like you think the interviewer wants to hear. Truly reflect and think about, what do you uniquely
Hmm.
bring to the table, and what you will be proud to bring to the table, because that is what will shine through. And if they don't like that, well, shame on them. That's their
Hmm.
loss, and
Yeah.
you wouldn't have liked the job.
Well, on that note, unfortunately, we're going to have to end this episode. But thank you so much. Adam, do you want to plug your blog one more time if you're interested in seeing what he's baking? I know
Totally.
I'm going to go check that right after this. Where can they find
It's
you?
stinkygrapefruit.com, as in smelly.
Well, thank you so much. It's been nice to talk to you today.
Thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure.
Bye.